Okay. Would you like to take a roll?
Okay.
Record?
Kent Porter,
Oh, here, sorry.
Kathy Barger. Here. Doral Riley.
Here.
Paula Noble. Here. Wyatt Irwin.
Here.
You do have a quorum. Chuck Davis is absent.
Okay.
Do play?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, let's, start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now roll call, sorry about that.
Okay.
All right, the consent agenda from last month, everyone had a chance to look at it? Now, are there any questions?
I may make a motion to accept, to approve the consent agenda as presented.
A second.
Got a motion and a second, all those in favor,
You want to do roll call?
Yeah.
Kent
Okay.
Porter,
Aye.
Kathy Barger,
Aye.
Doral Riley,
aye,
Paula Noble,
Aye.
Wyatt Irwin.
Aye.
Get it passes, sir. Consent agenda.
okay, we'll move on to new business. First topic is Skylar Construction rezoning of Greenfield Parcel A from RP3 to R1 and C1. This is a public hearing.
Yes, if it's possible, I'd like to address the board on the first two items and add in the amended preliminary plat for Greenfield Parcel A. That way we can kind of explain the purpose for the rezoning request. And what I'd like to do is also share my screen for the audience, and we'll go to the, there's a preliminary plat map that I think will be helpful for people to see. So bear with me. There we go. Okay, so, Jerry Seiler and Garrett Seiler, who are here in the audience tonight, representing GJM Development, propose to rezone Greenfield Parcel A area from RP3, Medium Density Residential Plan District, to R1, Low Density Residential District on approximately 6.5 acres, and to C1, Neighborhood Commercial District on approximately 3.5 acres. Property is located at the northwest corner of the Greenfield subdivision, and by 19th Street on the north side, Greenfield Drive on the east side, Foxtail Drive on the south side, and the Fishing River Trail / railroad tracks on the west side. This property was rezoned in 2002 to RP3 with a plan for owner-occupied threeplex buildings totaling 60 dwelling units. The property, of course, has been vacant since that time. Back in March, Mike Yates and Andy Mackey proposed to rezone this property for an amended multifamily development plan that included fourplex buildings, and rather than owner-occupied unit, they proposed rental units. The amended plan was recommended by the P&Z Commission back in March. Due to COVID, the Board of Aldermen hearing on the application was held in May. Based on public comments and board discussion that night, those applicants withdrew their application so they could resubmit a plan that included owner-occupied units. They no longer have a contract to purchase that property, and we do not see a further application from them. That's part of the reason that the owners have proposed their application here tonight. Public notices were sent to the Courier Tribune on August 8th and 15th, and the letters were sent to property owners within 185 feet. We actually started posting signs on the property, so there are a couple yard signs out there. I did have a couple of property owner or neighbors in Greenfield contact me because they saw those signs posted. So we've gone a little bit above what we're required to do as far as notice. The proposed preliminary plat includes approximately 3.5 acres of neighborhood commercial development along the south side of 19th Street, so the north end of the property is identified by the C1 area up at the north. You'll see that this plan also has a proposed building, a sample building, and there's some elevations in your packets. The remaining property to the south would be subdivided into single-family lots. Proposed cul-de-sac street across from Foxtail Point that extends off of Foxtail Drive. No driveway access would be allowed on Greenfield Drive, so all driveways would either be on Foxtail Drive or, again, up along the proposed new cul-de-sac. The houses in this subdivision will match what is already being built down to the south, large single-family houses. In the commercial area, they propose up to 1 to 3 buildings and/or lots. They do have one proposed building here. It leaves an open area to the east that they could potentially subdivide into 2 different lots or have 2 other buildings. Or maybe there'll be a user that just wants the remainder of that property, and so there'll just be two users at that location. A private drive connection from Greenfield Drive will provide access to the property. That driveway access lines up with the stub street on the east side of the road that would service the other commercial area that was approved as part of the original Greenfield plan. Access to 19th Street and the Greenfield Drive north of this driveway would be restricted for safety purposes. Other parts of the plan include a landscape buffer along the south side of the commercial property up against the single-family residential area. There are a few tracks along the west side that would be dedicated to the city for Fishing River Trail. If you remember on the previous residential plats, the trail kind of moves a little bit in there. That will add some consistency where the city maintains, mows and maintains the property there. And then there will also be some additional right-of-way dedicated up at the intersection of Greenfield Drive and 19th Street to straighten out that right-of-way. Now, the trail may move at some point in time when a turn lane might go in. There's also a little hump if you're trying to pull out of that intersection. There's a little bit of a sight distance issue depending on how far you pull up to that stop sign. So that would be something that would be addressed at some later point as well. Staff recommends approval of the rezoning from RP3 to R1 and C1 with the condition that the site is developed in compliance with all city codes, conditions, requirements, plans, and payment of fees and taxes. Staff would also recommend approval of the amended preliminary plat with conditions including additional revisions recommended by the P&Z Commission if necessary, Fishing River Trail connection be included as part of the final plat, parkland fees be paid at the time of final plat or at the time of building permit, which is usually what developers will do is assess that with the building permit. That the engineering review fee be paid prior to constructing public improvements and development of the project in compliance with all city codes, conditions, requirements, plans, and payment of fees and taxes. You want to be sure to open a public hearing. And we did, staff did receive a public comment by email that was forwarded from one of our board members that came from Roy and Karen Stone, that they would recommend that this application be denied to rezone the property. If the board wants me to read their full comments, I'd be happy to do that during the public hearing portion. That's the end of staff comments. There'll be
Who was that? Sorry.
Roy and Karen Stone. They live at 318 West 19th Street. So they are on the adjacent to the railroad tracks on the west side and on the north side of 19th Street.
Can I ask a question, David?
Sure.
What did they want?
Oh, do you want me? I'll be happy to read.
What did they want the owners to do with it?
Yeah,
Oh.
they didn't like them.
That they did not
Like a
explain.
giant park or?
That they didn't explain. They comment that, well, can I just, if we hold the public hearing, maybe I can read, I'll
Okay.
just read their comments.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. Okay, we'll open up the public hearing.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stop share. We do have a couple of people that are attending by Zoom, so we'll want to give them an opportunity to maybe raise their hand and notify us, and then we can give them an opportunity to speak. I'll go ahead and read the letter that we received, and this was forwarded to staff on October 7th. It went to one of our Board of Aldermen, and their comments from Roy and Karen Stone say, this email is in regard to the rezoning of approximately 11 acres from 23 plex dwellings to 14 single-family lots and up to 3 commercial buildings along West 19th Street. We have no problem with rezoning the property to accommodate 14 single-family lots, but are concerned with the portion regarding commercial buildings. Since 19th Street was widened, traffic has increased tremendously. We anticipated that this would be the case, but constructing commercial buildings in this particular spot will cause tremendous problems for them entering and exiting the parking areas of these buildings. Speed is also a factor along 19th Street. Speeding has increased and several accidents have occurred along this stretch of road. Once the new exchange is completed, traffic will increase more and cause increased speeding along 19th Street. We were under the assumption that commercial buildings would be constructed at the intersection of 33 and 19th Street when Greenfield was originally developed. This would be the logical place for buildings of such nature. We are pretty sure the Latter-day Saints Church will not be in favor of this rezoning either. Neighbors in Falcon Villa have made comments that they know of this possible move, that they would not have purchased the home as they did. They would have looked elsewhere. Kearney has numerous empty buildings that should be occupied before building any more to be left empty. We are all for progress, but it seems some of the town's resources are not being utilized to the best interest of the people. We feel you have always been fair in your decisions for Kearney and hope that you will decline the request to rezone this property. Thanks for your cooperation, Roy and Karen Stone. End of letter. I think we might extend an invite to those people that are joining by Zoom. If they can,
Is that all the people listed? I can't.
yeah, if they can notify us by raising their hand if they wish to speak.
Does anyone, on the Zoom call wish to, address the commission? How do you know?
Let's see if we can. I don't know Vicki Tran. Sean Warfield lives in Greenfield, but she attends all of the board meetings. Kenny is an applicant. Okay, see, they all have their cameras.
Oh, there's a hand.
We do have a hand, okay. Okay. Let's say, Brenda Munden, if you want to speak, you can unmute yourself. There you go.
And actually, this is her husband, David, as well. Thank you for letting us attend the meeting this evening. We are residents in the Meadows of Greenfield, Lot 121. We are actually the first house still down Foxtail Drive that will connect to the new proposed cul-de-sac. There are 2 lots next to us right now. We did attend the meeting in May, and we were not in favor of those rental units, as we were also assured at the time of building our home here that that land would be used for purchase of property. And we felt that the zoned area there on the corner for current commercial would be fine, considering where we had built. We do feel that adding the homes is a great step forward, but I'm still concerned with those commercial buildings there on the side of the road. Again, traffic has increased, which we would expect with population growth. But I don't understand why the developer just can't commit to building the residents that they had said from the beginning. We did move from the Liberty area to Kearney because of the area. It's a beautiful place to live. And we were moving away from less congestion. And I'm afraid if we add more commercial property, it's going to increase congestion. There's a lot of commercial property around Kearney that's still available. When I drive on the outer road by the water tower, I'm amazed at how much land there's still zoned for commercial and why this small piece of property is still considered. Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Munden, can we get your address, please? Sorry.
Sure, it's 2112 Foxtail Drive.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give him a little bit.
Let's see if anybody else would like to speak.
You guys want to address the?
Well, I think if we don't have others that will speak, probably we should end the
Okay.
public hearing portion of the meeting and then allow the developer to
Gotcha.
provide comment.
Gotcha.
I don't see any hands go up, and I don't see anybody, coming off of their, having their camera off.
Okay, we'll, close this portion for the public hearing. Yeah, you can just podium here so you can speak into the mic, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we don't have the mic turned on. I can get it turned on, we may not have it. Maybe if you can just speak loud. Okay. So we can pick you up on the.
I'm Garrett Tyler with DJM Development and Tyler Construction. I'll try to answer as many questions as possible. One of the questions was, they were concerned about us pushing people to go buy other commercial properties. At this time, DJM currently owns that multifamily ground on the corner, which we did have the right to sell to Mike Yates and Andy Mackey. And, with that contract falling through, we felt in the best interest of Jerry and myself that, by adding some more needed bigger lots, anywhere from a third acre to half-acre lots, and then actually accessing the road and just extending just a couple more commercial buildings, make it look just like it was on 19th Street, where Citizens Bank and Kretzinger's own the rest of that property. We thought it just, thought it looked good. We presented a lot of buffers to kind of break up the single family to the commercial. I know there is future growth, as the city is aware, and they plan on widening the roads and everything for future growth of it. Yes, there is a lot of land around the area, but we just felt as we're bringing this community up with all the phases that we have been already developed and continue to develop in Greenfield, we thought it would be a really good, asset to actually, continue developing, our own, piece of property on the corner of 19th Street. What other questions were there? I know as of now, we have one building that's roughly 10,000 square feet. As of right now, we have it 70% committed to take down for occupancy, which is good. There will still be another 3 to 4 bays that are roughly 1,200 square feet for any kind of commercial shops that go in there or whatnot. David, was there any other thing that I didn't
I
address?
think their concern was primarily on, adding some commercial along that portion because of the existing commercial zoning.
Yeah, with the commercial, it does wrap around from Highway 33 to the intersection all the way over to 19th Street, into the entrance. As we are aware, there is a church across the street just north of that, and the villas also went in there too. It would actually it would gel with the rest of everything else. It would accommodate everything else that it was intended for. I think commercial buildings along 19th Street is a lot better than multifamily that was presented in 2002. So, I think this is I think we're pretty positive with the results, and, there's a high demand of residents going into Greenfield as we're continuing to try to, after this, zoning, to continue other phases in the future, that wind back into Highway 33 eventually in the next couple of years, so. That's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
More discussion?
I have a few questions. That land was, originally slated to be multifamily. So do you remember how many units, multifamily units were gonna be on that property?
On the original plan, there were 23 plex buildings, which would be 60, dwelling units.
So how, you think maybe 3 businesses are gonna be in this piece of property?
Up to 3 buildings, yes.
Up to 3 buildings?
Buildings.
Okay.
Yeah, so the first building will be roughly about 10,000 square feet, and then the other, David, I don't know if you can possibly pull that
Yeah, we
back
can
up.
pull that back up again. If I can get it right, share screen.
What kind of businesses do you anticipate would go in this building? Is this an attorney, or is it a retail, or is it a convenience store, or?
I would like to say small mom and pop shops, small retail could go in there, insurance agencies, small, ice cream. Definitely offices, the ones that we have committed now, plan on taking 7,000 square foot for their office. We think it would be a great opportunity to, instead of move our sales team model home to model home, which we've been struggling a lot lately, where we don't have anywhere, like the fall parade of homes is going on right now. I just closed on the lot and they have to be out and during the parade. So we're having problems with that, which affects the flow of sales. So what we would like to do is have either one or two of those spaces accommodated for the sales team of RE/MAX.
Well, and the point of my question is, I'm wondering if, with the residents being concerned with traffic, if this wouldn't actually be less traffic than the original slated multifamily.
It would be less than the multifamily, you are correct. Because if you take 60 units and you times that by 2 cars that each unit would have, that's a lot of traffic, where we're just taking 12, which would be 24 we have 3-car garages, so that would be half of whatever that size was, and the rest would be commercial. But with that also being said, across the street on the corner, that's huge commercial, but who's to say that's ever gonna get developed or rezoned or whatever, so. And, there's, could be a bank that actually goes there, or any other kind of commercial property that we could develop into.
And how do the lot sizes on this new piece of,
They're anywhere from like 1/3 of an acre all the way to a little bit over 1/2 an acre.
and how does that compare to what's already what's already
So
there?
if you scroll down here on
Yeah, we can pick up
lot
there.
12, I think there's the residence of 121 was right here. These 2 lots right here are selling, they just sold 85,000 and 80,000 right here.
So what are the sizes?
That size right there is roughly, I wanna say it's about 18,000 square feet, so it's about, 40% of an acre.
Okay, so they're roughly the same, maybe a little bit bigger?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're, the smallest ones in here are obviously the corner ones, but all the other ones are gonna be the same size as the 2 biggest lots we had in single phase, 3.
Kathy, if you look, here are a few of the existing lots.
Mhm.
Those lots, roughly
10,000.
pretty much what you find out in Greenfield, which is a little bit larger than our minimum requirement. So that's about a standard lot you'll find in Greenfield. So lots 1, 2, 10 and 9 are pretty similar, but because of the shape of the ground and the cul-de-sac, you get some longer lots up at the north end, and then of course on this side where the trail moves back.
We've been having a lot of people, requesting larger range plans, older, buyers definitely wanna be able to not have a finished basement, or don't even wanna mess with the basement. So these size of lots right here will accommodate for ranches, more square footage on the main level than having to finish upstairs or downstairs. So, and I think they'll sell pretty quick. I haven't really been sending a lot out, but there's been a lot of people inquiring on this property, when it's gonna start and everything, so. And there's not that many of them, so there's just 12 in that piece of ground. With the buffers that we have around it too, that was one concern that we were wanting to address, to kind of break up and shield the office buildings, commercial side to the actual residents up in that cul-de-sac, so.
Have you had any comments from the other, homeowners in Greenfield?
the ones that I came across of, or my sales team, is they were ecstatic that the multifamily wasn't going in. And at that point in time, we had a contract, so until that got voided, we really didn't want to present this until that was actually done with.
That's all.
I know you see a lot of the parking spots, but, I mean, that's by code and everything, but I don't foresee that many cars there for a typical building. I drive by there quite often, with it being our own subdivision, and Citizens Bank only has maybe 10 to 15 cars in their parking lot at a time. They have a driveway and everything, so I could easily foresee, not as many, or if not the same, as Citizens Bank on other adjacent property.
Doyle, I've got some questions. First one actually is, I guess, for David. What is tract B and C, and what's the purpose? I know that has nothing to do with this, but I mean.
Yeah, I think tract B and C are over on this on the west side.
Yeah.
As the trail moves along on the back side of that property, it kind of moves a little bit. It doesn't line up even with the west property line. And there's a strip that the city mows and maintains. We have some landscaping and some trees that we have through there.
So it's
So those-
basically an easement for the trail.
Yeah, basically, it'd be a tract that the city would actually own the tract, but it's for the trail.
Okay. Lots 2 and 10, I'm pretty sure Foxtail Drive is not a collector. But what were the plans on the driveways? Are you thinking turning them out onto Foxtail Drive or on Foxtail Point? Do you know yet?
I would assume on Foxtail Point,
Okay.
there is a lot of interest in a lot of corner lots of this size of lot, do a side entrance. So, I mean,
That would be what I would think would be best.
yeah,
Okay,
so I mean, like on lot 2, I could easily see the front of the house facing Foxtail Point, but have a side garage, being able to enter from, Foxtail Drive, could be an opportunity for that.
well, my only point to that was the more you could keep people from turning off of Foxtail Drive and keep it on Foxtail Point makes your traffic
Yeah.
better, so.
That was part of the reason for not having, driveways on Greenfield
Right.
Drive, was the same thing. It's more of a collector though.
Right, it is. This is just an observation, and I don't know, if you're planning on building a fence there on the north property line, if you were, it doesn't matter. If you weren't, I could see, maybe suggesting a sidewalk extension into that property. And here's why I say that, is that, Kathy and I are the only two that remember the development that was supposed to happen about a quarter of a mile down the road in the Fishing River Flats. And I see this kind of shaping up to be that same thing where everybody wanted to walk to their services. I don't remember what they call that.
Neo-traditional,
You know what I'm talking,
I see what-
walkability.
and so that was the whole idea of that whole development. It never took off because they tried doing it about 2006, so it kind of fell on its face. But, if you can provide services up here that, and the whole reason that they were doing that then, it was supposed to be the whole community thing where everybody walks to what they want, like we used to do here, before the town spread out. So I could see this actually as a benefit to the neighborhood if you can, I mean, obviously the walking trail goes right by there. If you could walk up to, you mentioned ice cream store and several other things, if you put in people there other than insurance agents and people like that, I think it would really benefit the neighborhood. So my only other comment on this was that, everybody wants to see a whole bunch of rooftops, but without these commercial developments, that we don't get everybody enjoys the nice school system that we have, and these rooftops don't pay for all the kids that they put into the school. So you gotta have the commercial development.
Look, Ken, to answer your question, over here, like the sidewalk, I would prefer, because the front of the building is up here,
Sure,
even over here, having a sidewalk coming alongside Greenfield Drive
yeah,
up to the front of it. Really, I mean, having an office or any kind of shops or whatnot, having people walk in the back, not really for security reasons, I prefer to have,
yeah.
I like what you're saying, yeah, have them walk up here, drive them to the future of the businesses and stuff, I think is a great idea. To answer your question right here, we weren't planning on doing a fence, but, I don't know if you're familiar with, on 33, they have a lot of rolling berms, and they have those pines and stuff. We were kind of maybe wanting to resemble that too,
Yeah,
to kind of keep it all familiar and just kind of,
it might work, but I'm just telling you,
it's a tight area, yeah.
you got a sidewalk going around that cul-de-sac, people are gonna walk over them.
True,
You
and
don't have,
for
don't-
security reasons, it might
it's
have to.
gonna happen.
It might have to be to a point,
Yeah.
depending on who goes in there, if they want a, overhead door on the backside or something. Security reasons, they probably want to fence that off.
Yeah, it's not a thing for me, it's just something I noticed, and I just thought I'd mention it, so.
I think it would look good too. I mean, if you did a, black wrought iron fence across it and then do some shrubbery.
It's just,
My main
just an
focus-
idea.
My main focus is to get a bunch of spruces or evergreens to really block the view of the back of the buildings from the residents.
That's all I had, thank you.
Mhm. Okay.
I mean, traffic is obviously gonna be an issue, but it's gonna be an issue as soon as that interchange goes in. Like, that's not gonna be any different. It's just, that's what 19th Street is. I think people just don't wanna live next to commercial, and they don't wanna say, I don't wanna live next to commercial. But you're correct, like, that's part of having, there's two things. One, it's good for the economy, which helps our schools, and two, traffic becomes an issue in another way. If everything is located in one spot, then everybody has to drive to that spot, and if you aren't like a mixed-up community, at least a little bit, then you have congestion problems throughout the community. And so it actually is good to have these pockets of small businesses and other places that aren't just downtown or, right on the interstate. My 2 cents.
Well, I remember when, Mr. Kretzinger developed, I think I brought this up last time, bought that piece of property or decided to do something with it. That was his whole plan, was to have a place where you could go from a single professional to a small family to a large family to a retiree and never leave that corner of Kearney. Because you could be able to walk to the bank, or you'd be able to walk to some sort of a convenience type store, go to go see your banker, your insurance guy or whatever, and never have to get in your car. And that was what he envisioned there. And I don't think it's, of course, he had it initially as multifamily, so you could get those young professionals in there, but, I guess that's off the table now, so.
Which is sad, because it is actually something we really need.
So, that's my 2 cents. Danny? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, Dave, is just the rezoning of,
Yeah, there are two applications here before you for GJM. The first would be a rezoning application, and then separate from that, an amended preliminary plat for that, parcel A or tract A.
and the rezoning does both sections at the same time, right?
Do separate, yeah, we wanna do separate. The rezoning goes to the Board of Aldermen. A preliminary plat would not, approval tonight would allow them to move forward.
last question I have, is there any remaining, multifamily in that corner,
In that corner,
that whole piece?
I don't believe that there is.
And that other corner is commercial,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay, so, first thing on the board would be the rezoning of Greenfield Parcel A.
I couldn't hear what you said, Doyle.
The first thing was just the rezoning of Greenfield Parcel A from multifamily to R and C1.
Are you requesting a maybe
Yes.
motion of
Yeah,
Okay.
pull from?
I move that we, approve the application for rezoning along with, staff comments.
I'll second it. Got a motion and a second. I'm gonna take a roll call vote.
Kent Porter,
Aye.
Kathy Barger,
Aye.
Doyle Riley,
Aye.
Paula Noble,
Aye.
Wyatt Irwin.
Aye.
It passes.
Okay, so second would be the, Schuyler Construction amended preliminary plat for Greenfield Parcel A. Need a motion on that one as well.
Are we gonna do any staff comments on this?
There was a staff
Already-
report today. Yeah, I
Kind of,
commented on that already. I
Combine
can,
them?
I
Okay.
can repeat that if you'd like me to.
No, that's fine. I will move that we, approve the rezoning plan from, let's see, where are we going?
we're just preliminary,
Amending the
Oh, we're
preliminary
amending
plat.
it.
amending the plat, yeah.
From, RP3 to R1 and C1 as,
Well-
laid out.
Yeah, that's the rezoning. It would be a motion to approve the amended preliminary plat.
Okay, we're doing that then.
Yes.
Second.
I didn't. I'll second it. There you go. With staff comment.
Okay,
Kent Porter,
Aye.
Kathy Barger,
Aye.
Doyle Riley,
aye.
Paula Noble,
Aye.
Wyatt Irwin.
Aye.
It passes, sir.
Okay,
And so the reason, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, the zoning application will be forwarded to the Board of Aldermen. Based on approval of that rezoning, then the preliminary plat would, the approval today would mean they could then go forward after the rezoning is approved.
if not, then it does. Or gets shelved.
Right.
Okay. Okay, let's move on to item C there, with Dusty Barham doing the rezoning to R to R. And this is also a public hearing.
Correct, and we have two public hearings. Actually, I'd like to we have three applications. One is for rezoning to rural residential, another is to vacate at a platted utility easement, and then a replat of Barham Acres. I'd like to just provide some comments altogether. I have three different motions on the different applications. That's okay. Kenny Barham is here with us tonight, via Zoom. I'm sorry, Dusty Barham is here tonight. I guess he's on Kenny's iPad though, that's what threw me.
Oh, yeah.
Dusty Barham, lives on an existing 5-acre lot at 16800 Northeast 128th Street. He is surrounded by the family farm owned by his parents, Kenny and Annette Barham. He's acquiring an extra 1.6 acres from his parents on the back of the property that he owns. And, that property is not zoned to a city zoning classification. It was annexed in 2006 or 7, so it's just retained that county. We call it a county classification. So they propose to rezone that 1.6 acres to RR rural residential to match the existing lot that he has. He will then replat his lot to add the new acreage into his one lot, so we retain just one lot rather than having two separate pieces of property out there. There is a utility easement along the north side of his existing lot, so when that property gets replatted, there would be a utility easement through the middle of the property, similar to what we saw last month on West Ridge Business Center. So he's filed a petition to vacate that utility easement. As part of the replat, to add the acreage into his existing lot, there will be a new, utility easement, dedicated around the property. Public notices were posted in the Courier Tribune on August 8th and 15th, and utility companies were also notified of the vacation. Consolidated responded that they have no objection. Spire responded that they don't have facilities in that corridor, but they have a review process that they go through for various departments. Staff recommends approval of the rezoning request. Staff recommends approval of the request to vacate the general utility easement located along the north side of Lot 1 Barham Acres. And then staff also recommends approval of the Barham Acres replat, final plat, with following conditions. Revisions to the final plat, if any, are necessary, and that the plat is recorded within 1 year. These applications will be forwarded to the Board of Aldermen for consideration, and the rezoning and the utility easement vacation are public hearings, so you want to open the floor to a public hearing tonight as well. Final plat also gets forwarded to the Board of Aldermen with those other two applications. And if the board has any questions, Kenny, like I said, is joining us via Zoom, and that ends my staff reports on those 3 items.
Okay. Open up the, public hearing for the rezoning, portion. Dusty?
Yep.
Can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah.
You want to, comment on anything? Got anything to add to the?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And then we have Vicki Tran, who is in the meeting. I don't know where she lives or what she might be joining for, but we might give her an opportunity to
Okay.
Run her camera and or raise her hand, just in case she's here for that application.
Ms. Tran, are you, you can hear us?
Hi,
all
my
right?
name is Diana. I'm on under Vicki Tran. I was here actually just for the Greenfield plat discussion.
Okay.
Thank you.
I guess we can.
Well, yeah, there would be no public comments, I guess, for either of the vacation or the.
Okay, we'll do that one too.
So you wanna, you could probably close the public hearing and then,
Open it.
yep.
Okay, we'll close the public hearing for the rezoning. We will then open the public hearing for the vacation of the utility easement. So, Dusty, you got anything to add on that one?
Nope.
Okay. Well, we'll close that public hearing. Nobody else got on there? Okay. Staff comments, I've already given this.
Yeah, I gave some staff comments. If there's any board discussion?
The easement is basically running through the smaller line here.
Yeah, if
That's
we
what
could,
it was.
yeah, I'll share the screen, and so you can see that my mouse move.
And it ran east to west, right?
If I could get down to it. Not wanting to cooperate. Here we go. All right, so here's a copy of the Barham Acres replat.
Right.
The property as exists today is bound by this area here, which would be about the 5 acres, okay? This is the 1.6 acres proposed to be rezoned. When that property is added by replat, and this becomes the outer boundary of the lot, this hash line represents the utility easement that runs through the middle of the property. That would be the location of the utility easement vacation. And if you notice, around this northern portion of the proposed plat, we have a replacement utility easement. So this utility easement would go away. There would actually be a note added to the plat in that area that identifies the ordinance that would vacate that utility easement.
Basically just shifting it north.
Yeah, basically shifting up to match the property line.
Gotcha. Okay. That's the only comment I had. All right. no more, comments, because we'll look for a motion for the rezoning first. We'll do each one individually, right, David?
I move that we approve the, rezoning request from county to rural residential on the, Warham property.
I second it.
I have a motion and a second. Shirley's gonna take a roll call vote on this.
Kent Porter.
Aye.
Kathy Barger.
Aye.
Doral Riley.
Aye.
Paula Noble.
Aye.
Wyatt Irwin.
Aye.
It passes.
Okay. We'll move down to, the vacate of utility, and since we've already discussed it, further discussion. Anybody recommend a motion on this one?
I'll make a motion to approve the staff comment.
Okay.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to vacate the utility easement along the property. Shirley?
Kent Porter.
Aye.
Kathy Barger.
Aye.
Doral Riley.
Aye.
Paula Noble.
Aye.
Wyatt Irwin.
Aye.
It passes.
Okay. Next is the Barham Acres replat. Entertain a motion on this as well.
I make a motion to approve the final plat with staff comments. I second.
I have a motion and a second. Shirley, all those in favor?
Kent Porter.
Aye.
Kathy Barger.
Aye.
Doral Riley.
Aye.
Paula Noble.
Aye.
Wyatt Irwin.
Aye.
It passes.
Okay. Item 5, old business. I see nothing in old business. And, the monthly, on item 6, the enclosures, the information items, monthly permit, and other information. Do I have anything for the good of the group, David?
Well, it wasn't marked on old business, but I would like to update the board on the Habilis Hills application down at the county. It had been tabled for a couple of months down at the Planning and Zoning Commission, but I understand at their last meeting on Tuesday of last week that they did go ahead and approve that application as submitted. So rezoning to R1A or R1B with the proposed plan for 3 13-acre lots on the, by Mr. Handy down at the southwest or southeast corner of subdivision. It goes to the county commission next Monday, the 19th is their meeting.
Did they ever contact you about it?
Yes, if you remember at the meeting, I had a copy of that plan that I had sent to him. He didn't take a copy at the meeting night. He said, I'll see it went in the mail when I get it. And then he came to see me a week ago, or the Thursday or Friday before the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, and he had asked that staff approve the same layout, the 3 lots, and maybe on that northern lot, just identify it as a tract. Well, I didn't believe that at the time that I could, at staff level, approve it before their next meeting without letting the Planning and Zoning Commission and or Board of Aldermen know what that counter proposal was.
Kind of landlocked that piece of property. Any other discussions from anyone? Issues, concerns?
Move for adjournment.
I second.
Got a motion to adjourn, motion and a second to adjourn.
Porter.
Aye.
Kathy Barger.
Aye.
Doral Riley.
Aye.
Paula Noble.
Aye.
Wyatt Irwin.
Aye.
It passes.